Hello there everyone, and welcome back to my next episode playing the TekTopia mod. I am Mar, and I have got quite a bit of work done off screen that we're going to take a look at here in a moment, and we're also going to talk about what I want to work on next. And did that villager literally walk that direction and then change his mind and walk back? Maybe he was heading to the library and now it's nighttime maybe, and he's like, oh, it's time for bed. See ya! So I've done quite a bit of work, off camera, and I want to show all of it to you. I'm going to try and do my best not to forget anything that I may have changed. First of all, I went back to the mesa, and I got a whole bunch of terracotta, and I have finished the staircase leading down to the mines. It's pretty much this design all the way down. I still have torch spam everywhere, and I think I'd like to come up with some sort of, like, lighting in the wall sort of a thing, behind iron bars, similar to what we have elsewhere in the town. I don't know if I'll use lava in here. Maybe I'll use just water with glowstone behind it or something like that. I don't know, just like different ideas. I've got a couple different possibilities that we can go with. So that's one thing I've done. We finally got enough carrots to barter those. Those were the only trade the merchant was willing to accept for maximum cost for the produce type things, so the woods and the crops. Of course, the mining things are still a holdup. I don't have enough diamonds or redstone or lapis or anything like that to trade with the merchant. But I did finally get enough carrots, so I did that. And once I did the carrots, that then opened up like a whole bunch of additional trades, because it increased the amount of emeralds that he was willing to give on other things like potatoes and beetroots. So I did a trade. I believe I did carrots, potatoes, beetroots, oak in spruce, I think. I don't remember if I did, well, maybe I did jungle too. I don't know. I did a whole bunch of them. Maybe all of those types of things. I can't really remember. But that got me a lot of emeralds. And I used those emeralds, first of all, to put mending on basically all of my armor. All of my armor has mending. My pickaxe, my Silk Touch pickaxe has mending. Now, I had a Curse of Vanishing one that already had mending on it that I've kind of maxed out, and so long as I don't die, I'm totally okay using this. I do have another Fortune 3 that does not have mending on it, but I always have that in case I die and I need to replace my Fortune pick. But for now, this is working out perfectly, and it's a mending book that I don't have to buy right now, so that's good. And because I now have mending on everything, and especially my elytra, I can now fly myself around, and I'm telling you what, it feels so good. It feels so good to fly. I love it. I love every second of it. I actually took a fly out there, just a brief exploration hike in that direction. I was searching for the maximum height, average maximum height of trees. I discovered that the large oak ones, I found one that went up to, I think it was like 16 blocks tall. I was like, okay, that's way too tall. I'm not building the druid's crypt that big. I ended up going 10 blocks tall, and we'll take a look at that in a moment as well. So let's see, we did the mine shaft. I did a whole bunch of trading it here. I bought, not only did I get emeralds to buy iron bars, which we'll look at in a minute because I used those over there in the graveyard, but also a couple mending books. And I also bought a whole bunch of tokens. So I've got some 3 farmer tokens, 2 house 6s, 4 more lumberjacks. I actually bought a 4th farmer. I've already used it basically. So we got 4 lumberjacks. I've gotten more hearts while we were gone. Of course, I got these from before. So those are all really good. I plan on using the farmers and the lumberjacks and the house 6s here pretty soon. I also added this wall in. I was having a hard time keeping track of how many villagers I actually had, so I decided to make a wall, and every time we get more, or at least I'm going to try and do it every time, I'm going to update this to reflect how many of each type of villager we have. And I'm pretty sure this is, because I got 9 over here too, I think 18 is way more. Without looking at the wiki in advance, I think that's more than there's actually villager types. But I figured I'd start with this and just fill them up as needed, I guess. So we've got 9 farmers, 4 foresters, a teacher, and 2 miners. Of the foresters, I've got 1 on each wood type. Of the farmers, I've got 2 on each wood type, and then the 3rd is kind of, I think, doing everything currently. So I'm just trying to kind of spread them out so that they're not all doing just one type of you know, resource, because that would get really, that'd be bad. We need a good round robin sort of collection on all our resources. I did grab the beacon and I took it down into our crypt, and we'll take a look at that in a minute. I've also got all these vines that I've set up around the base of the library, and that's so that I could use them to make mossy cobblestone or mossy stone brick if I wanted to, and I actually kind of like how it looks. I think the green adds a very nice splash of color. As I was saying, I did get iron bars, so I've put them all the way around the crypt. It was so costly. I spent so many emeralds. Oh, I spent like 20 some odd emeralds, maybe 30. I don't remember exactly how many, but I spent a bunch of emeralds buying iron bars. I still have iron bars left over, but I've got them going all the way around the crypt, except for, of course, the 2 entrances that I wanted. I've filled them into the windows of the crypt itself. I haven't done the lava here yet because that, you know, that involves flying into the nether repeatedly for buckets of lava, so, you know, nobody likes doing that, so I'm just gonna procrastinate on that a little bit. Down here is where the most of my time has been spent down here, and it's mostly done. It's not completely done. It's kind of boring, kind of bland, maybe. I went with, this is red sand. Like I said, I went to the mesa, got some terracotta that I used, and I was like, you know what? I think red sand might make for an interesting floor inside the crypt. Because I don't want to be boring and constantly going with stony stuff and stuff like that. So I figured I'd go for some variety, put in some red sand. Now for the walls, I want to put in some sort of, like, there are going to be pillars in front of all these, and then this will be filled in as well with something. Not really quite sure what yet, and then I want to try and do my best to detail it out. I just need to make sure it's pretty far away from the trees. Now this is like 10 blocks tall. It feels like a lot taller than that, but it's really just only about 10 blocks. And I have confirmed that the large oak trees will go right up to the top of it. I'm pretty sure that this is limiting their maximum height, because like I said, I did see some in the wild that went even taller than that. But I think that's a good thing, that it's limiting it. Now the happy thing is that these trees do seem to grow pretty well, left to their own devices. I wasn't quite sure because the wiki kind of made it sound like birch trees and spruce trees have to have 4 blocks between them in order to grow, and I haven't really seen that happening. They appear to be growing just fine on their own. So yeah, that's pretty much what I've worked on here. I did a lot of glowstone gathering in the nether, in order to put, originally I didn't have this much lighting, but I've noticed occasionally, and this happens outside too, but sometimes these will be left like only 3, this is actually mysteriously 4 blocks tall, but 3 blocks tall, and it's actually, I mean, it's technically spawnable up there. In fact, I don't even know, is this spawnable? I'm gonna just take this down, but is this spawnable up here at 4? No, good, okay. But I noticed that without this glowstone around here, it would have been spawnable. And I just realized, I wonder if they'll chop this down even though I placed it. They should. Hopefully. Maybe? I don't know. I'm going to put it up and leave it and see what happens. Because I don't actually have a sapling to replace it with. So that's what I've been working on the most. Just trying to keep things spawn-proof. I went down there with my previous lighting setup, and a creeper walked towards me, and I was like, yeah, that's... we cannot have that. We absolutely cannot have creepers or skeletons or zombies or anything else spawning anywhere inside the base. I did also notice a creeper spawned over here behind the mound, but I ran around all over the place, and I can't figure out... He was like standing right here, and I'm like, it's like level 11 and 10 and like 13. This is 9, but I could not find any place that was a 7. I don't even think I saw any places that were 8s. So I was like, I don't understand where he spawned. How is this working? You know, where is he coming from? Is it over here maybe? Oh, it is down here. I bet he spawned down here and walked over there. That makes sense. Okay. All right. Yeah, that's probably not a good thing. I guess it's a good thing that I found that. I didn't expect it to be that low right there. All right. So in today's episode, I don't know if we'll have time to do both of them, but the 2 next things that I want to work on is expanding our storage and building the house 6s for the tokens that I now own. And I was actually pretty happy with this, and the villagers have plenty of space in their chests. I mean, they're not going to run out of storage space. I'm not going to run out of storage space. I mean, it feels cramped up there. I think I'd like to be able to take my my furnaces off of the top of the wall here, and I don't like having to walk over my bed all the time. So it's a little cramped, but I do technically have empty chests if I needed more storage. And by the way, digging out the crypt down there got me so much cobblestone. It's ridiculous. And I had so much cobblestone, I decided to combine it with a lot. Like, I had about this much diorite, like a full row and like half of a row, and I used almost all of it. And I've already gotten almost all of it back again. But I used it and a whole bunch of my cobblestone to make a bunch of andesite. So that made me pretty happy. Like all this storage space here, I'm fine with it. I'm okay with it. And you know, I can always use shulkers if I start running out of space for some of my more common items, like, you know, cobblestone and whatnot. But then I discovered something that I didn't actually realize was a thing. Now, I knew that in the houses, villagers have a problem with overcrowding. They need 12 blocks per villager. Or 12 spaces, I guess, and that includes their beds and their chests and chairs and you know, all their workstation type things. I didn't know that it also applied to storages. So that explains why sometimes I would go in there and my villagers would be complaining. And I'd be like, well, what are you complaining about? You've got plenty of chests. It's not like you're going to run out of storage space. Well, no, it's how much floor tile space they had. Now, realistically, you can only have one storage thing per village. And eventually, I mean, maybe I'll end up with 100 villagers, but you're actually maxed out. You can only have, I think it was 500 or something. Hang on, let me double check. You can only have, I've got my tablet here. You can only have one storage per village, only one, which I feel is kind of like a drawback. I'd actually kind of like to have multiple storage houses. But I'm here on the wiki for TekTopia, and I'm gonna look here at overcrowding. And with the overcrowding, it applies to the following buildings: storage, blacksmith, town hall, which I find weird. I'm assuming that only counts the 2 villagers in the town hall. The butcher, library, school, all of the homes, the barracks, and the kitchen. And if you think about it, what if you end up with like 100 villagers? 100 times 12 for your storage? That's more than houses will even allow. I believe the maximum, I thought it was on this page, maybe not. No, I guess it'd be on the structure page. Let me switch over to that. Structures, maximum size, 500 floor spaces. So what if you have 100 villagers? That'd be like 1,200 floor tiles for your storage, but you're maxed out at 500, so you're going to be overcrowded regardless. So I don't know, I feel like it's kind of like counterintuitive, maybe flawed that it caps out like that, but that it requires so many tiles. I don't think that's necessarily a good thing. And look at the schoolhouse. I mean, I've got a bunch of chairs in here, and there's no way that all of those kids are going to have 12 tiles to themselves, to each one. So I think in general, my villagers are just going to have to deal with being overcrowded. But at the same time, I guess if I can only have one storage house, I might as well make it a little larger for further down the road, like maybe when I do need that space. I don't need it now, but I might eventually, and if I can only have one, I better make sure it's pretty big. So I think I want to drag this balcony here out. I considered going the opposite direction. This is actually the direction I wanted to go, but unfortunately, the way I've designed the graveyard, it'd be in the way within like less than 10 blocks or whatever. So I really can't extend it that direction hardly at all. So, and I can't really extend it this way either because, you know, we've got the bridge here and I do need space for walkways. Can't really extend it very far on this direction because then we're running up to the library, but we got plenty of space on this side. So I think I want to just basically take this building and like just drag it, like just visually just take these posts here and just drag them this way with the balcony wrapping furthermore maybe over here. And instead of having a roof that is shaped like a V in this direction, I'll just like rotate that so that the V comes to this this way, basically. Does that make sense? I'm hoping it does. That's going to be quite a lot of work, though, and I'd like to try and get it done in this episode. But that's only one of the things that or maybe not even in this episode, because like I said, there's 2 things I want to work on. Expanding on the size of this, maybe potentially to the point of doubling the size. And because we're going to be increasing the size, I want to add like a back door. They only need, they can use any number of doors. So you could have a door here, you could have a door on the other side. You just need the token next to it, to one of the doors. But the other things I want to add to the village are the house 6s, and I'm not quite sure where I want to build them. I'm thinking maybe over there on the other side of the animals, though I was also thinking that might be a better place for like the ranchers and stuff, you know, eventually the ranch house, or I don't know exactly how that worked, the butcher and all that stuff, the baker maybe. But we also have the area on the other side of the library as well, so that's also an option. But for now, I think doubling or expanding on the storage is probably our best bet, and then work on the houses afterward. I haven't seen any nomads recently. I don't know, do nomads only spawn if there's available beds? It's possible that's how it works. But anyway, I've got a whole bunch of spruce here. So what I need to do is quickly plot out exactly how far I want to expand this. I might have to do some terraforming to this section of the incline. And then I'll be right back once I have figured out exactly what the new dimensions are going to look like. All right, so I am working here, slowly transitioning over that side of the structure to this point. Because I do still want my ramp being on the far side, and I want their doorway to be pretty much centered, and so I'm shifting everything over pretty much. So this whole, like, what you see right here is going to be shifted to this side, and it's just going to be extra long. Which means I will need more flowers, more flower pots, because I'm going to have more posts. But I do want the doorway itself to be over on this side instead. I think it'll be a lot better being a little more centralized to that end, and, you know, kind of like between the bridge and that end. And like I said, I want to add another doorway, probably in the corner over here somewhere. But first, that means I have to get rid of all of this stuff, tear it down. Oh, it's going to be quite a task. In fact, it may end up, I was really wanting to work on multiple projects today. I think this needs to be turned as well. So yeah, something like that. I was hoping to get multiple projects done, work on, like, expand this and work on a house. But I don't think, I think this task here is going to turn out to be a little bigger than I anticipated, I think. I wasn't like, when I first looked, I was like, oh, this should be quick and easy, and then I'm like, oh, no, it won't, it's gonna be terrible. But I think it's necessary. I think it's something we gotta do, and I just wanna, now I can get back to my storage if I need it. But yeah, I think this is something that, you know, it's going to be a necessary evil having to tear this thing down and completely redesign it. Now, my only concern is, when I knock out this wall, are they going to be like, oh, no, it's not a house anymore, it's not a structure, it's not valid, you can't do this to us? Are they going to complain about that? I'm not quite sure. Oh, great, I don't have enough inventory space. Can I reach that down? No, I can't reach it, darn it. Let's put that away, I guess put that away. I need to get these little buttons before I lose them. So let's see. I need to this whole wall is gonna come down. I'll do the roof last, of course, because their part of the structure is more important than my part. So getting the roof fixed is kind of lower priority, I suppose. So let's see. What's this looks like? Okay, so we've got fences in here, and then this actually needs to be a stair block so that I can create a window. Same thing on this side then. So window and more fences. Okay. And goes up to that level here. So I guess carry that across. All right. And build this up. Well, I guess I might as well do this side too. It's going to be visible from the inside, so it's got to happen, you know. Do that, bring it down, same here, and I think here as well then, and this is also gonna have to go up. How high did that go? 4 blocks? 1, 2, 3. Only 3 blocks. Okay, because then the stairs, the cobblestone stairs, kind of wrap into the corner there. All right. Okay, so let me keep on working on bringing this over, and I'll bring you back in a little bit with an update, maybe when it stops raining. Alright, so I decided to leave the roof on this side pretty much the way it is, and I simply added another one angling this way. I was going to completely rotate that one so that it joined up in the same shape as the point over here. But then I decided that it might look a little bland with it being so long like that, so I left this the way it was and just merged it into this one, or maybe I should say that the other way around, merged this one into the original. And I think I like that better than what the alternative would have looked like. Now this part here looks a little different because originally on, you know, the original portion of the storage, this right here was a flat row of stairs, so you didn't have the point above our doorway, so it looks kind of weird here how you have a full beam on this side and then just nothing on this side. But I think it still does the trick. There's plenty of space inside. I actually do have to still rearrange everything. I have to, you know, put the chests over on this side, you know, kind of space things out a little better. Technically the same thing is true up in our personal area too. I didn't even put the door back yet. I did move the furnaces over here and put up a bunch of the brewery stands. I had like 2 of them put here, but I decided to, you know, put one on top of every single one of the furnaces. Moved our bed over here, and I did sleep in it, not through the night, but I did go into the bed so that I could set my spawn. I still have a lot of torch spam around. That, of course, is going to be a you know, high priority, making sure that we keep mobs from spawning. But I do think that this is going to work out a lot better for us. We're going to have more space to do our things. They're going to have more space to do their things. I do have that back door already installed. I don't know. I was kind of toying with the idea of giving a back door for us as well, but I don't think, I don't know. I may just leave it the way it is. It doesn't bother me too much to have to go up there. You know, it's a trek I'm kind of used to. If anything, the most I'd probably do is just add a couple stairs here so it's a little quicker. I don't know if I necessarily need a second entrance over here, at least not yet. But I think I like the way this is the way this is working for now. My inventory is an absolute wreck though, so let me clean up my inventory a little bit. Let me double check the timing on the episode and see if we have time to start at least build like a foundation or something for our first house 6. Jeez, these villagers must be happy. I just came over here and picked up 4 more villager hearts. 4! Do these things despawn? Because I feel like, I mean, surely they weren't that happy, right? And I can't even fit them all into my chest anymore. Look at that! Look at how many hearts we have! That is ridiculous. Ugh. I mean, I know that I could get nomads too, but I feel like with that many hearts, I should just go, like, just totally go for, just the children, you know? I mean, I have a school. I might as well make use of it, right? And these hearts aren't gonna go away. I'm just gonna keep on getting more. I just have so many of them, but I don't have enough houses for them all, you know? There's just a crazy number of them. Okay, anyway, the reason I noticed is I was over here and I noticed sparkles through both that window and that window. Both of them had 1 heart each, and then that, was it that apartment? No, it was this apartment here, I think. It had 2 hearts in it. I was like, you've got to be kidding me. But anyway, I was kind of thinking that this might be a good spot to put another house. I think I'd want to peel this back a bit. It's kind of in the way. And honestly, might just want to peel it all the way over here. Just to get rid of it a little bit. And I think I'll turn this into grass. To be honest, I might even change this sand here into grass now that I think of it. Get rid of that and do something like this. Get our sand because we don't have a lot of it. I mean, there's a desert nearby, obviously, we could go to, but hey, we've got sand. Might as well get it while it's here. Might as well not waste it, right? So do something like this. And then I think I want to put a house right here next to the beach area. Good view of the ocean, I guess, you know. I don't know. Let's see. Let's grab our chest, or our shulkers again. Get ourselves a crafting table. And set these puppies up. And put down that. And of course I don't have any. That's gonna have to get out of the way if I'm gonna put a house here. The boat's gotta move. I guess I'll put the boat maybe over here then. This is just what I use to get across to the little mining area. It's actually, it's not even in render distance, but my little mine is over there that I go to. I need some spruce though. Just a little bit of spruce. Or actually maybe a lot of, maybe I should grab a bunch of spruce. What I want to try and build here is something that looks similar to the pre-existing structure over there for the little, what do you call them? The bunkhouses? What do I call them anyway? I want to try and stay similar to that style, but it's going to be a 6, it's going to be one of the house 6s. And it's raining again? Are you kidding? But I want it, like I said, I want it to be pretty similar to this. Maybe, because realistically, if you knock the wall out between these, it would at least be a house 4, if not have, it probably wouldn't be enough space for a house 6, but it would be at least a house 4. And I want to build something like, just like, pretend that this half doesn't exist. I would build this half here, and there'd be a house 6 on top, and there'd be a house 6 on bottom. I want to try to do something like that, if I can pull it off. I just need to make sure that I have enough space for all the villagers. So let me work at this a little bit in the rain, and I want to at least get down a foundation, or a general spacing of where it's going to be. I feel like this is the wettest seed I have ever played on, but, I mean, I'm still getting work done, I guess. It just makes recording a little weird, I suppose. And well, no, I take that back. It rains so much, they all spend all day inside their houses sitting on their duffs. I mean, like, no work gets done. I guess I don't know. Maybe the miners go down to their mine because, you know, it's not raining underground. Let's see. Is this the miner's room? Yeah, see, he's still sitting there. They just don't go anywhere. I do think he'll go into his place. I've seen him go into the schoolhouse sometimes. I don't know if it's only, I see it's hard to tell what time of day is. Is that the sun right there? That particularly bright spot? Because, I mean, he just went back into his, well, okay, he came back to the schoolhouse. All right, he's the only person I've seen working, and he doesn't even have anybody to teach. But, yeah. Rain all the time kind of interferes with the villagers, you know? Anyway, I have been working on the house. I have a general shape. It's very mundane. It's basically just a rectangle, though I did bring this space out a little bit. I'm trying to be conscientious of the spacing requirements. This is a 5 by 13 plus 7 right here, which I believe should be exactly the 72 blocks that we need for 6 villagers to sleep in here. And well, thank you for rain for going away now that I'm halfway through the last clip here. It should be exactly the spacing requirements that 6 villagers would need to be in here without feeling overcrowded. Because let's see, what was it, 12 times 6 is what, 62, I believe, or something like that, and 5 times 13 is 70 something, or am I going backwards? Hang on a second, let's see. I feel like I just did the math totally wrong. So 6 villagers times 12 is 72. Okay, that's what it was, 72. And I don't remember if that's what I said or not, but whatever. 13, because that's how long it is, by 5, which is how wide it is, that is 65. So the difference between that is the 7 blocks that I have sort of jutted out here at the front. And this will be where the doorway is. And then the second floor, I don't know where I want that. I feel like maybe a side entrance would be better for them. Maybe put a stairway going up right here. And their door can be up here somewhere. I think that might work better. Just based on how weird it would look to have a staircase like right above the door right here with the elevation change being so close. It might work out better to have the staircase over here instead. I'm not quite sure yet. I'll have to play around with it a little bit, but this should be exactly the spacing requirements needed for 6 villagers to live happy. So I can put a home 6 there. and a home 6 up here once I get the rest of it built, put the roof on and all that fun stuff. And then I can invite 12 more villagers into our village, which essentially, I mean, if you think about it, that's almost doubling our village, because we've got 16 now. We'll be adding on 12 more, either through nomads, or maybe we'll spawn a whole bunch of children and see how they fare. Because the downside with the children is that you have to wait for them to grow up, and you know, whatnot. I don't know how much smartness they actually get from school. But the nomads themselves only tend to have about, like, I've seen them go down really low. I've seen some really stupid nomads running around. On the other hand, sometimes I've seen them as, you know, high as maybe, I don't know, 14, 15, 16, somewhere in there maybe. But ultimately, they're all, relatively speaking, kind of stupid. That's why we have the library, though. But I feel like, I mean, I have all these hearts. I feel like I should make use of them, right? And I feel like having, suddenly having 12 new beds to fill might be an excellent opportunity to blast through a whole bunch of our hearts all in one go. And I gotta admit, it'll be kind of funny to see that many kids running around. Like, how many hearts do we have here? Let's double check this real quick. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Plus 3 is 14, 15, 16, 17, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. We've got 24 hearts. This whole house, even when I do both levels, that's only 12 of them. That's only half the hearts we even have. I've got to use those hearts up before I have so many that it's just completely out of hand. I'm going to have to build these, and then once I get more emeralds, I'm going to have to buy another couple of house 2 tokens and build another house just like this one, probably. I might add it out here on this little peninsula area. Maybe have it long ways or something, or maybe I could just build a very large structure. I mean, I'm trying to avoid boxes, but man, I'm starting to feel like I really have to capitalize on as much space as possible. And this little area here is shallow enough that we could build more houses there, and maybe build a little bridge from here across, similar to what we did at the other area with our lagoon. Yeah, I've got ideas rolling around. I just have to, you know, implement them. But for this episode, I think I'm going to go ahead and end it here. It is actually, like, in, you know, quote unquote real life, it is actually really late for me, and I do actually have to work in the morning. I'm looking at, if I fell asleep right now, I'd be getting about 6 hours of sleep, and I have to edit the episode and everything, and you know how it is. Real life things, gotta do the adulting stuff. No, it's never fun, but gotta do what you gotta do. So I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it up here. I hope you've enjoyed this episode, and of course I hope you keep on coming back for more as we continue to expand on our village and get more villagers in, and hopefully more resources, get to trade more often, all that fun stuff. So yeah, I hope you keep on coming back to see more, but until next time, I hope you have a fantastic time, and I will see you later. Bye!